You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you are here with us. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM, our campus and community radio station. Been around since 1984. Got our start at the Laurentian University campus on Ramsey Lake Road in a little trailer way back yonder. And now currently we're located downtown in the old Telegraph building, which is part of the MacEwan School of Architecture, all part of Laurentian University, right here in Greater Sudbury. Glad to be here with you this morning. So along with broadcasting over the airwaves, we're also broadcasting online, streaming at cklu.ca. So you go there, click on the Radio Player Canada app, and you can stream us and listen to us. You can also download the Radio Player Canada app, take us with you, and listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. And not only this show, but many of the other great shows that CKLU has. Not saying that this show is great, but all of the great shows that CKLU has in separate from this show even. So grateful that we have that availability. And there's a lot of people that have lived in Sudbury and want to check in. They're from Sudbury. They've got work abroad, or they're living abroad, or whatever life has taken them, and they just want to see what's going on back home. And CKLU is a great way of doing that. And having it online is a way that they can check in from anywhere in the world, right? So we're grateful that we're able to stream online and connect with you. So welcome if you are listening from wherever you are in the world. And if you're from Sudbury, thanks for joining us this morning. It is morning here. It might not be where you are. You can also watch on YouTube or Facebook at Facebook Live, facebook.com/Sudbury News, YouTube Live at youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow all of our social medias. We also are on Twitter. As soon as the show is done, we upload that to Twitter, twitter.com/Sudbury News. Instagram is a work in progress. We have that, but we're not really working it. We're LinkedIn, the same thing. It's just this one-man operation, so to speak. And there's lots to do. Volunteer, right? So thanks for joining us. And with that, good morning. Who do you have here already? Monique is already joining us. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Judy as well. Good morning. I hope you're having a great morning. Along with David, stay safe. Yes, stay safe. Always a good mantra to have. Denise as well. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. And Monique, good rising. Yes, good rising for sure. I love these creative ways of saying good morning. It's awesome. Belinda, good morning, everyone. Grab your coffee and have a wonderful conversation for sure. Also, looks like Chris is with us this morning. Chris, good morning. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us, Chris. Hope everyone is having a great morning, whether you've commented and you've checked in, or you're like a little bit shy to comment. You don't have to be shy here. Everyone is welcome to get in on the conversation. Good morning. Mona, thanks for being with us as well. Hope you're having a great, beautiful Monday morning, Monday after Mother's Day. I hope all of you mothers out there had a wonderful day, and those of us who are celebrating mothers were able to do something, and whether they're with us still or they're not with us anymore, I hope you had a day to celebrate mothers in your life, or the mother figures in your life, And it's a great time to really reflect on what that means to us, right? And I was able to surprise mine. She lives in Sault Ste. Marie, and so I grabbed my brother and said, "Let's go." And she was surprised. So I just buzzed her apartment and said, "Hey, can you open up? Can you let me in?" And then we had a double surprise because I had my brother back at the hotel and said, "I just got to go check out. I'll be right back." And then he came back with me, so she was surprised to see him as well. So she had a double surprise on Mother's Day, and it was just a wonderful little, like a day trip kind of thing. So hopefully you were able to have something as well that you were able to enjoy the day. Thank you. Hope you had a great weekend, and thank you for all you do. Well, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Good morning, Maurice. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I know we have all different spellings for our names, but Maurice, good morning. Thanks for being with us. We're going to dive right in with some weather. We got some sports, some sad news from the 5. Well, it depends. I guess there's good news and bad news. And then news headlines. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Kind of lighter. It's kind of lighter today, and I appreciate that. There's a lot of things going on in the world. Sometimes news can be pretty depressing. But we're going to try, I guess, because of the headlines that we have today. Maybe we can keep it light and fun and whatever. But we're not afraid to go anywhere, wherever the news is taking us. We want to make sure that we're on top of things too and being informed. And we're not afraid to go places, to be informed, and then keep positive. Whatever's going on in the world is going on. News happens, right? So we just want to understand it and unpack it as good as we possibly can. So with that, let's all have a great time. We'll dive right in. We'll start off some weather. Be back with some sports, and then news headlines, your comments, and much, much more right after this. We'll be right back. As usual, the weather is brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. And there's currently, it's 5 degrees. It's cloudy. And today we can expect sunny, hazy late this afternoon. The wind will be 30 kilometers, but gusting to 50 this morning. The high will be 24. And tonight, clear, becoming partly cloudy this evening. Hazy early this evening. And the wind will be about 40 kilometers. Light near midnight. Wind becoming 20 kilometers before morning. A lot of wind in that tonight forecast for some reason. Yeah, to me, unless it's really windy and it's going to make a difference, the wind could, unless I'm sailing or flying a kite or whatever. Tuesday, mainly cloudy with 60% chance of showers in the morning and early in the afternoon. Don't like that. Clearing late in the afternoon and then high of 12 on Tuesday. A little bit of look at your 7-day forecast. Well, here it's 6 days. Tuesday, like we said, 60% chance of showers, so there's a good chance. But then good news, Wednesday and Thursday, sunny and sunny, 14 and 17 respectively. And Friday, chance of showers coming back again, 60%, 12 degrees. Friday, that is, chance of showers. And then Saturday and Sunday, 18 degrees, 17 degrees, mix of sun and cloud. So, you know what? Not too much rain in the forecast. You got tomorrow and you got your Friday. Other than that, looks pretty good with some nice weather, nice temperatures rather. And then look at your satellite. Mainly clear so far over the Great Lakes and surrounding area. You got a lot of cloud towards the north, James Bay area, and into Quebec. But other than that, it's pretty clear. That's your Sudbury weather. It's brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of sports and much, much more right after this. righty then. So, Sudbury Sports brought to you by that Sudbury Sports guy, Randy Pascal, and his website, sudburysports.com. I'm just going to try and fix my camera here. I thought I fixed it already, but I guess I moved it in the wrong direction. And with that, Danica, good morning, Danica. Thanks for being with us. Happy Monday with a heart. Love the positive emojis, especially on a Monday. I'm feeling a bit Monday-ish today. So Sudbury 5, they played yesterday. Well, first of all, it was the game 5, first round of the playoffs. Now, again, there's only 4 teams in the NBLC, so there was only 2 series going on, the London Lightning and Kitchener-Waterloo Titans, and the Sudbury 5 and the Windsor Express. Sudbury 5 forced a game 5. The 5 forced a game 5. And because they won in overtime, and Windsor came back to Sudbury yesterday and unfortunately lost. I think it was 108-99, something like that. Anyways, so that's the end of their season. And but there was some news that came out on the Friday, I believe, where they're no longer going to be in NBLC. They're going to merge with the Basketball Super League, which has a bunch of teams, Canada and the United States. So press release there. I thought I had some of the information up here. Let me see if I got it. If not, it is what it is. Oh yeah, okay. So we'll have more on that, like exactly what teams are in the conference in the league itself. But it's a huge move. I mean, it's a whole league. The league is now non-existent, and they've merged with the Basketball Super League. So it's kind of exciting there. And speaking of exciting, because the fact that they've lost and are moving on, are not moving on, it's a downer, but Sudbury 5 standout Jeremy Harris was named the NBLC MVP. So he will, in fact, be the last MVP in that league, historically speaking. So not only is that cool in one way that it was a Sudbury 5 player, but he's going to be the last one in the league, as it is now merging with the Super League, Basketball Super League. So more to come on that tomorrow. And that's your Sudbury Sports, brought to you by SudburySports.com. It's Randy Pascal's. He's a Sudbury Sports guy. SudburySports.com is his website. So we'll be back with some news headlines, your comments, which is very looking much forward to that, and much, much more when we come back right after this. Yeah, and you know what? I can't believe my energy this morning. I feel surreal, and I just feel calm. I feel good. I feel relaxed, but I don't feel like I have a ton of energy or whatever. Like I just feel kind of mellow. Maybe it's just something in the air. I have no idea. But good morning, Diane. Thanks for being with us. Bon matin. Much appreciated. The bilingual brought into the morning. And I do definitely wish I would have spent more time learning French, because I've been around it my whole life, and I appreciate it. And it's just I tried to get at learning French from a cerebral, logical point of view. Is like, well, why is it that way? And then when I was trying to learn French, people say, well, there's no reason for it. It's just the way it is. I was like, well, I need to know a reason why a language is constructed. And I guess even if I was trying to learn English and I was asking someone, well, why is that? And people who, if I was trying to learn English, they'd say, well, that's just the way it is most of the time. You just got to dive in and submerge yourself in the language, which is something I'm going to have to do at some point. And it's on my bucket list. Good morning, Wade. Thanks for being with us. Wade Hind from Pass It On Undercoating. If you haven't got your car undercoated yet, visit Wade at Pass It On Undercoating. He'll explain all the reasons why you need to get your car undercoated before waiting for the fall. And I think you need to do it 2 times per year, spring, and let it really seep in, and let it seep in during the dry weather, and then just before fall as well. Not only so Wade can have a more robust, successful business, but your car can last as long as it possibly can as well. I just bought a used car and they never undercoated it. And my goodness, it's going to shave off a good 5 years off the car. Engine's immaculate. Everything is great other than the a lot of the parts underneath and the frame included are rotting out because they never got the car undercoated. But it's not only undercoating it, it's how you undercoat it. And Wade can explain all of the reasons why he uses the solution that he does to undercoat. So Pass It On Undercoating. So I'm passing it on, Wade, for everyone here on the show. By the way, Wade's not a sponsor of the show or anything. He's just a good friend of mine. And I get my car undercoated there, and I know it works. And so, and I know he's an honest, trustworthy person. And that's why I like to keep it. Anyone that I go to, whether it's a mechanic, any services I have, I really appreciate them being people of integrity and people you can trust and not be taken for a ride, so to speak. Headlines coming here. So you got Sudbury gets middling grade on happiness scale. That comes from the report. Remember, we were the happiest city. Remember that? Sudbury was the happiest city. Well, not anymore. According to this particular report, Nickel City ranks 57th out of 100 cities for resident contentment. So this coming from Statistics Canada, I believe, did a report a few years ago. While Sudbury failed to crack the top 50 in a recent study of citizen contentment, folks in the Nickel City still have reason to feel pretty good about where they live. I would say so. More than 75% of Greater Sudbury residents reporting having a sense of belonging to the community. It's a release from Point 2, which is an online real estate portal that conducts their own market research. What's more, nearly 83% are happy to pay less than 30% on housing in what's one of the greenest cities on the list as well. To determine the level of bliss for those inhabiting the largest 100 cities in Canada, Point 2 analyzed 30 metrics to create its own happiness index. So they look at things like after-tax income, poverty rate of a community, perceived health, sense of belonging, and simple practical factors like the commute time to work, which I appreciate, rainfall and air quality, and then split the metrics across 4 happiness-relevant dimensions: economy and real estate, location and demographics, health and well-being, community and environment, the company said. So Belinda says, after the last 3 years, happiness is hard to rate. Canadians are struggling. Thank you for that, Belinda. I believe many will share your sentiment on that for sure. While the study looked at cities across the country, the 5 happiest were all in Ontario. That's interesting. Southern Ontario, to be exact. Caledon led the way. And Milton, Halton Hills, Clarington, and Burlington were right on the heels there. Also, Oakville and Aurora finished in the top 10. So while the Statistics Canada survey in 2015 said that Sudbury was the happiest city in the country, the City of Lakes placed much lower. This year got a score of 48.9 or 48.49 on the happy meter. The happy meter. For a rank of 57th. That still put 20 places ahead of, that still put Sudbury, 20 places ahead of similar sized cities like Peterborough. They were 77th. Ahead of North Bay, which is 99th. So again, having traveled around Ontario, mainly Northern Ontario, I'd have to ask myself, I'd have to see the questions on here and really look into this, what this is really saying, because North Bay is a pretty darn happy city as far as I'm concerned. People that I know there, standard of living, their climate and air quality, probably right on par with ours, if not cleaner and better. So I'm really not sure who's doing or what these questions entail, right? But it is what it is. I guess for a while, which I thought was interesting when we were ranked the happiest city in Canada. I was, the skeptical side of myself was like, really? Sudbury's the happiest city in Canada? And how do you rate that anyways? Kind of hard. All right, so here you go. Sudbury Impact Crater has created modern day advantages. Like I told you, there's a little lighter today in the news. Some kind of Sudbury-centric feel-good stories. And we're talking about the crater. Lake Wanapitei is a crater in and of itself. It's a crater within a crater. So a lot of, looks like Sudbury was a bullseye for meteors hitting us. So Lake Wanapitei, a massive body of water formed by a meteor impact. It's an amazing lake, great swimming, boating, all kinds of recreational activities around Lake Wanapitei. So they're saying we were under sea 1.8 billion years ago. Here we were under sea, but a meteor struck, and basically there was very little in the way of life on the planet. It was mostly tiny life forms akin to bacteria. And there was little recognizable landscape due to the changes that the Earth has undergone due to the shifting of the continent. So we looked nothing like what it did now. But I always notice when you're driving into Valley East from, you come from Sudbury, the old Highway 69 north, and you come over the hill and you look pretty much at the top, Valley View Road. All those of you who commute there know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're coming from Sudbury, come up, there's lights on the top of the hill just after McRae Heights and the top of Guilletville. Sorry about that. Anyways, the top of the hill, there's lights, and then you can look over the whole, crater, and you see the ridge that the meteor impact would have formed, and you can, there's probably other great vantage points looking over that crater. It's huge. So that's one crater, and Lake Wanapitei is another. Like, these are huge impacts, and I'm sure they altered whatever altered the Earth in general, whatever the Earth was doing at the time. I'm sure these impacts had something to do with it. So basically, the impact went 16 kilometers, they're saying, below the surface. So it would have had to hit the water and then hit the bottom, the Earth under the water, and then go 16 kilometers under there as well. That's how fierce the impact was. And the crater was more than 250 kilometers across. That is huge. The impact would have had all the rock melted instantaneously and the impact would have had all of the rock melted instantaneously and thrown it into the sky at supersonic speeds. As this melted debris rained back down on the Earth, it would have blanketed the area in rock to several meters in depth. So yeah, anyone who lives in Sudbury is pretty familiar with how it came to be and why we are a mining town, where all these minerals came from, these rich minerals. Pretty unique, and it's pretty incredible Good morning, Vin. Thanks for being with us, my friend. Thanks for, hope you're having a great Monday. But if you want to learn more about that, we share the story on our news feed, Facebook, Sudbury News Facebook page. Get the stories from sudburystar.com. A lot of great little tidbits in there. So just full disclosure here, I went to Confederation Secondary School as a youngin'. I went to 4 high schools throughout my life. I moved 17 times within the time frame of from kindergarten to finishing high school. So went to many, many schools, but Confederation was one I remember from grade 10 and 11. So I went there more than any other high school. And they had the rock band when I was there. And yeah, definitely Sudbury has some awesome history, Vin. And speaking of that, Confederation High School has awesome history too when it comes to their rock band. And I was, I wanted to be in the band, but yet at the same time, I didn't assert myself enough. So I never even asked. I never even went to, at the time, Norm McIntosh was the music teacher there and the one who began the music, the Confederation rock band, and went on to worldwide acclaim and, many awards. Many industry leaders looked at the rock band as a great model to get young people like myself involved in music and learn ethics of hard work and learning the songs and then getting out and performing it. And so not only in the band, but you could be somebody who's on the technical side, doing the lights, doing the sound, things like that. And so I just didn't have enough assertiveness in me at the time to actually go to Norm McIntosh and say, I want to try out for the band. I went through other people. I said, do you think they could use, because at the time they only had female singers. And I think that's been the tradition throughout time. And I said, I'd love to try out as a singer. And someone told me, well, Norm doesn't take male singers. And then years later, I talked to Norm and I said, yeah, I said this story. He goes, well, if you would have came to me and just asked me, I would have loved, we had a hard time getting male singers. That's why we never had any. So it's interesting, right? Sometimes when you're young, even when you're older, if you just don't ask or you don't take the chance, you'll never know. You'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as Wayne Gretzky once said. But the Confed Rock Band, when Norm McIntosh retired, we thought that was the end, possibly, but it's not. They're back. Confederation Secondary School's rock band. The Noise rehearses for decades of rock. And the story is shared from Sudbury Star, sudburystar.com. Make sure to make some noise with Confederation Secondary School's new rock band, named, of course, The Noise, in concert next month. If you want to check them out, Confederation has a long history of being Northern Ontario's school of rock, a tradition that continues today under the direction of music teacher now, Nick Beach. So Nick says, I really want students to feel like they have a space in our music department where all genres of music are valued. Rock music is a fantastic way to build confidence and leadership skills in young people, whether they are performing on stage or working behind the scenes. That's true. So I never had the chance to be in the Confed Rock Band, as it was called at the time, now called The Noise. However, I watched from afar, watched their performances being a student there, and it inspired me to continue with my musical aspirations, and am still a musician to this day, and recording and writing and performing. And so even not being in the band, just watching it and watching how good they were and the work that went into it, I could still see that even though I wasn't in it. And I saw the hard work that Norm and the students put in at the time, and then what they got out of it. And they toured around. They played at other schools. I'm sure they inspired other people of a similar age group as well, as they saw them perform and said, wow, well, they can do it. Maybe I can do it as well. And saw how hard they worked. They had to set up. So I saw it wasn't just, hey, I want to be in a band. It's all fun and games. I saw how hard they had to work to set the stage up, all the wiring that needed to be done, and all the technical things that they had to do. And for young people, it's a great experience because we usually really, music is a magical thing that most of us can appreciate. We all have our favorite types of music, and and why not use inspiration to teach young people? And this was a great way to do that, and still continues. They're going to put on a show. It's going to be in their school gymnasium. If you're not sure where it is, you drive into Valcarran. It's right on Main Street in Valcarran. It's going to be on June the 8th at 6 p.m. You can get tickets. They're $5 for students and seniors and $10 for everyone else, for other adults, and can be purchased from members of the band or Confederation Secondary School, or they have a link in the story. If you just go on the story that we shared on our Facebook page, you can go and order them online. But it's great. If you have a young person that's interested in getting into music, possibly, it's a great chance to see a full production of, great music, well rehearsed, great performance. They work really hard at it. And it's family friendly as well. But it might be a little loud. You might have to wear some earplugs. Who knows? It's too bad so many schools don't offer music programs and trades. Too many of them are because of the cutbacks. Yeah, exactly. No, it was great. I think they were hoping that this could have been a model for other schools. And good morning, Julia. Thanks for being with us. Good morning to all. Hope you're having a great Monday. And also, Belinda says, that was Belinda, music is good for the soul, and it's has the ability to change your mood drastically. Yeah, and I'll give you an example of that. So, yeah, I am a musician. I do play guitar. Sure, I may not be the best in the world, but it's great therapy for me. So I remember I was living in the United States for a couple of years, and I was with some young people down there. And we lived in a really cool place where they had ducks and geese, and they had a big pond in the back, and my apartment door opened up into this. It looked, with weeping willows over the pond, and the owners of the property stocked the pond with beautiful carp. They were orange, they look like giant goldfish, but they were carp. And we used to go back and feed them. Anyways, this young man came along, and he grabbed one of the geese. And a lot of people are like this. I don't understand where it comes from. They just like to hurt animals. I don't know what it is. But to this guy, I was like, he was just had a bit of an attitude. He said, I'm going to crack this goose's neck. I was like, what the heck? He was just a rough guy. And anyways, pretty intimidating. And we were hanging out a bit. I said, no, don't crack. He never did anything wrong to you. I think he deserves to continue on this earth. I don't think he needs to have his neck snapped. So, but anyways, I had my guitar there. I grabbed my guitar, bring it out, and this really tough-looking, burly fellow who was just going to snap the neck of a goose in my yard, I just started playing a song on my guitar, and immediately the guy, no word of a lie, just became like a little kid almost. He sat, his legs crossed at my feet as I was playing the guitar, and his countenance, everything changed on his face, and he just looked like a little kid sitting there. And he goes, "You play guitar?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You know this song?" I said, "Well, I'm sure I could figure that out real quick." And I did. It was like 3 chords, which most songs are. Started playing a song. He starts singing, and he was my best friend after that. He would just kind of give me a hug. He said, "Thanks, man. That's so cool." And I just, wow. So I'm sure there's many, many, many other examples of that. That's just something that happened to me a while back, just showing the power of music in a nutshell, basically. So good morning from Jerome, a local boy. Gilles Grand performed a Conway Twitty tribute at the Crusoe Club. Mother's Day concert Saturday night. Great time, yes. Gil Grand, I believe, right? His dad, I think, cut my hair for a while. He had a barber shop on Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. I think we used to talk. If it's not him, it was another person that had a similar story. Country music person from Sudbury went down to Nashville and was living in Nashville and making a living at writing songs and playing. But I believe it was him. So that was cool that he was able to come back and have an awesome concert. Musician, like Sudbury's full of great, great musicians. It's, for per capita, if we knew all of the great musicians that have come from Sudbury, it's mind-blowing. So yeah, we have a really great musical tradition, and Confed's rock band historically is probably one of those factors that helped it along anyways. And so that's cool. So if you want to get out and support the Confed rock band, June 8th, begins at 6 p.m., Confederation School Gymnasium. Here we go. See what we got next here. Road work to slow traffic in various parts of Sudbury. Every year you got this, right? So make sure to stay, check in if your commute to work depends on traffic flow. And if you need alternate routes, you go to the Greater City of Sudbury's website, and they have all of the construction projects that they have on there. Also, you can read the story here at SudburyStar.com. Let's just look into it here. Highland, Notre Dame, and the Kingsway will see lane closures. So those, you'll definitely want to plan your routes. A number of road projects commence this week that will impact the traffic. Yeah, so they're beginning this week. Sidewalk landscaping and paving work will reduce traffic to one lane on Highland Drive from Regent Street to Winchester Avenue, 7 to 5 p.m., so the bulk of the day, the heavy traffic. Well, then again, at least it's not after 5 p.m. Rush hour. Monday, the 15th to August 31st, so quite a long time there. Also, South Lane Road in front of, Notre Dame at 1049 Notre Dame, across from the Taxation Center, from 7 to 7. May 15th to May 31st, so that's like 2 weeks. That's a heavy traffic area. Milling work will cause intermittent lane closures on the Kingsway at the intersection of Silver Hills Drive, right by Costco there, and Barry Down, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., May 15th, May 17th, so for 2 days. So you have officers there who will be mitigating traffic at least. So that is always good. I have a pet peeve sometime when they're doing construction and there's nobody conducting, traffic there to help the traffic flow. Good morning, everyone. That's from Michelle. Thanks for joining us. Got some emojis there. I love the emojis. I can't tell what they are because my eyesight is so bad. But working to protect Sudbury's Junction Creek is the headline. Belinda's also saying, apparently people don't understand the zipper effect on the Bridge of Nations in Sudbury. So many angry people. Yeah, I don't know. There was a video that Science North put out. Maybe I'll have that for tomorrow for the show. They did a really good job of it as well. Really kind of just fundamentally explaining the zipper and why you should do it and what happens if you don't. They had some diagrams there, some, just really explaining it. It was a really good video. So I'll see if I can find that again and we'll play that on the show because I think we are in construction season. Maybe we'll play it a few times. Yeah, Sudbury's not a zipper town for sure. And Yeah, we get very angry. So people get angry if you try to do the zipper because it looks like you're speeding up to be at the front. And you're just basically saying, hey, I'm trying to do the zipper. And then people don't want to let you in. But it would go way faster if just it went one and one and one and one. So one person in the lane, one person merging, one person who is in that lane, one person merging, and so on. So yeah, if you haven't heard that before, it's pretty earth-shattering. It's called the zipper. It's a way to keep traffic flowing. It is still going to be slower than 2 lanes, but it's a way to help the traffic move along. Working to protect Sudbury's Junction Creek. I guess we had the Junction Creek Festival this weekend. Apparently it was a success too. So we're releasing brook trout, and that shows the health of the ecosystem. Northern Ontario CTV News reporting that. If you need to know any more on that, just click on that story. Sudbury Police releasing the picture of suspect number 2 in the fatal shooting that took place in Overtime Sports Bar and Grill here in Sudbury a couple weeks back. Very unfortunate incident. So here's a picture of the person they are looking for. And they're requesting assistance to locate the 19-year-old Noah Singh for the homicide at Overtime Sports Bar and Grill. They're requesting the public's assistance to locate the 19-year-old, as he's wanted in an outstanding arrest warrant for the following offenses under the Criminal Code of Canada in relation to the homicide. Well, anyways, there's a lot. There's a lot of charges that they're putting on him. This is the main thing. He was involved in the shooting, and they're looking for him. And if you see him, or you know him, or you know of him, make sure to contact police. Crime Stoppers, 222-TIPS, or just call Sudbury Police directly, which is 705-675-9171 if you have any information on this person. I didn't know that there was 2 people involved. I thought they already had the person they were looking for, but it is what it is. Yeah, see, so Joan was saying, I thought he was in jail. Okay, so TNC News, they're an independent news organization, True North News. Canada spent the most on the pandemic, but achieved some of the worst results. A new Fraser Institute study has found that although the Canadian government had some of the highest government spending on stimulus programs during COVID-19, they achieved some of the worst results among advanced countries. Ask me if I'm surprised. As you know, if you've watched the show or you're listening to the show, I can be a little critical on government, especially the current government, because that's the one that are making decisions, the coalition of Liberals and NDP currently, and our progressive conservative premier here in Ontario. As you can see here, they don't look like they're on opposite sides of a political spectrum at all. They're pretty darn close in their ideologies, and I guess a picture says it all, or a picture's worth 1,000 words. So let's see here. We just finished Emergency Preparedness Week in the city, and there's some, I really appreciated what the city had done in taking a week and really looking at it. And so here's this infographic talking about looking at making a plan, building a kit, and staying informed. I really do like that. If you're sending out a message, they do a good job of it. Make a plan, build a kit, and stay informed. Now, you would have gotten on Friday at 10 a.m. an emergency alert if you were registered with the program, where you go on the city's website, you give them your email or your phone number, and they're able to text you or email you the emergency. If there's an emergency in the city, that's the way they're, able to reach out. Let's see here. So Jerome is saying bridge construction notwithstanding, why is it the majority of road work is not at night? Great question. Excellent question. That's what I was going to say when I thought the construction was going to be going on during the main traffic hours of the day. as well. Like, why can't they? It's a good question. I don't know if any of you have the answer to that. I don't. I heard something that had to do with unions at one point, that they don't want to work at night, and so they're not going to. But that's just one person I heard it from. I'm not going to say that that's the reason. So political, going back to the whole political conversation we were just having, no accountability of where the money went. Dougie made a lot of money with floor stickers. We, the taxpayers, are done. Or we, the taxpayers, are done. Yeah, so I heard that too, that he was the one making money off the floor stickers that said, caution, 6 feet apart, step here, the arrows in the grocery store, things like that, which I don't know for sure if he did. I'd never looked into it. I heard it, and I heard it from multiple sources, so shame. And I heard a lot of politicians, same thing. They kind of made money either was from masks or from stickers or from, relationships with pharmaceutical companies in some regards. Shame on them. I mean, it's pretty sad, if you ask me. It's pretty low. So yeah, back to preparedness. Make a plan, build a kit, stay informed. So we have here, the city has an emergency plan in place to protect the municipality as a whole, but it's important for each household to work and workplace to be prepared as well. Start with these simple steps. Make a plan to help your family know what to do in case of an emergency. 2, build an emergency kit with basic supplies to last your family at least 72 hours. 3, stay informed by signing up for Sudbury Alerts. For more details, you just go on our, it's, the URL is greatersudbury.ca/be prepared. You can find out more about that. So here, Trudeau, some more questions, some more comments coming in. Belinda, Trudeau, wealth doubled and if not tripled during COVID. So great. So this is great for us to hear these types of things. And once we hear them, then we can, if it is important to us to know if our prime minister's wealth doubled or tripled during the pandemic, now we can go online and see if we can research that and see if it's in fact true. I love that. There's nothing that we won't at least entertain, because I'm just not prepared to say, yes, that's true or not. I heard that as well. So again, I hear a lot of things. $50,000 government grants to promote the injections. Interesting. Looks like we've unpacked our deep dive for today. No evidence, just conspiracy, but shame on them. This is how the throng gets stoked. Well, okay, I guess not necessarily. So I'm asking the question. I'm saying I do not know that. So if you do want to know that, I'm sure there's sources out there that can tell. I'm not here to give evidence. I'm here to question. And if I do want to now go, I'm sure I can find that information. We live in such a great age these days that if you really do want to find things out, you can. And so I'm not here to tell anyone that, full disclosure, that I think one thing or another, or I know one thing or another. I know that there's a lot of accusations out there, and that's not what I prepared this show for, but I also want to give comments the time of day from people coming in as well, and go through the stories that are being shared in the news. See, we got Alan here. Good morning. Our local media, particularly radio stations, have a lot of work to do in letting us know what's going on. Example, May 10th, huge power outage, many thousands of people with no power from Wanup to parts of Hanmer and over to Marks Day, but nothing mentioned on radio or TV. That's an interesting point, for sure. Yeah, you would hope that paid people that's what they do for a living would then say, well, there's no power, and then find that out for sure, right? Myself, a volunteer, just having a community conversation on a community radio station, and also allowing it, on Facebook and YouTube. I don't have the resources to be able to do something like that, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I would hope that our local media, the trained professionals, would be able to do that for sure. A sucker born every minute. It's just good business. Okay, research it before you broadcast, as shame on them. Okay, well, I wouldn't be able to have a show, Stephen. Really? I wouldn't have this show. It wouldn't exist. So if either I don't exist or I come on and do it in this capacity, so I figured just to move forward anyways. And if people are interested in things, they can go and research them themselves. And I'm not saying one thing or another. I'm not perpetuating lies. By asking questions is not lying to people. It's saying, I've heard this. You can look into it yourself. If they did, shame on them, is what I said, right? If they did do these things that I hear people accusing politicians of. Have we ever had a politician do something wrong ever in the history of governments or politicians ever once in history that we know of? And if they did, are there current politicians that possibly could be doing things nefarious that they shouldn't be? That's the question I'm asking. Is there? I don't know. Let's look into it. It's the people we're electing to govern us. It's probably good to do that. I don't know. Just a suggestion. Denise says Chrystia Freeland and Hillary friends are Chrystia Freeland and Hillary friends are our country is doomed because they're friends. Well, yeah, could be. I've heard a lot of things about the Clintons too. Like, again, heard a lot of things. Did I prepare for this show to come on because you made a comment and now I have to go prepare and come with a bunch of information? Not enough time to do that. But yeah, I heard a lot of nefarious things about them south of the border. Laurentian even got a grant while being in insolvency. Well, that's interesting. Wow. For sure. Yep, speculation. I think a human being is able to speculate too. I think that's a normal part of being a human being is to speculate, try and figure things out. If we don't ask questions, we'll never get to the bottom of things. Funny over the last 3 years how conspiracy theorists have been right and consistent on many things. Yeah, I think I was watching a Glenn Beck thing the other day. He was explaining that and showing examples. So maybe I'll get that Glenn Beck video at one point, just showing, here, these were conspiracy theories, or at least considered by the media. And he showed all the stories saying, oh, this is just conspiracy theories, including the gas stoves, that they're trying to outlaw gas stoves, which now New York is saying they're outlawing gas stoves. Any new buildings will not be allowed to have them in. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So Michelle says the mayor is not explaining smart cities. And he says that he will not participate in 15-minute cities. How come? Okay. And I think that's a real deep dive as well. I think that's a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about that quite a bit. And I think I opened a can of worms here because now Dave is chiming in. Does anyone have actual facts about people making money? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they do. And as politicians, I think you have to be transparent with your money. So if you want to look into that, I'm sure you can find that out. I heard that some radio personalities have made lots of money, but don't know, just heard, may or may not be true. Perfect. I appreciate that comment. That is true. Yep. I'm sure if you're on the radio, other than CKLU, you got to be making money, obviously. Trudeau Guardian on 32%. It's only a very small handful of bad people, and the rest of us could stop this. Okay, cool. And there's so many more comments coming in here, but unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Never thought I'd have any deep dive today. I wasn't looking to have one, but it is what it is. It's what people are concerned about. That's why we're here. What are you concerned about? And this is your show on your station, CKLU. So thanks for all your comments today. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you continue to ask questions about the world that you live in, and why is it the way that it is, and is it the world that you want it to be, and are you doing your part to encourage that in any way, shape, or form? So I hope you're having a great Monday, everyone. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU, and we'll be back same time, God willing, tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. right here on this great station. And hope you're having a great Monday. Stay chill, everyone, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.